The Rufus and Craig Show. Rufus and Craig Show. You know what? I have to be careful because I think you can get sued for stuff even if you sing like the melodies. I don't
No,
know the
you can sing
specific.
a cover all you want. You just can't duplicate the exact music. And
So is
and
that
a cover, you can't be sued for a cover because the cover's hey, I admire you. I'm singing this song in your honor. Why would somebody sue you for that?
okay? Well, welcome back to 2026. I think that's a good place to start. Why would anybody sue you for that? This is your hostess with the mostest. That's
Oh, come
whack.
on, hostess.
The Rufus and Craig Show, first episode in 2026. I am Craig.
And the second episode, and I'm Rufus.
Okay, well, I think that kind of flows, but that was the first episode, which was at the end of 25. But this is the first episode at the beginning of 26.
Okay, we're not gonna argue
So,
about this. Let's go.
well, I think it's just a matter of communication and not necessarily arguing a point or one's point, rather, right?
I'll defer to you. You got it.
You know, I work for an organization, and have you ever heard people just end every sentence with, right? Just trying to get audience feedback or audience buy-in. But it's like,
Hmm.
no, that's wrong.
But
That's not right.
we don't have a live audience, so it don't matter.
I'm just thinking. But no, going back to that point, I think back to Wendy Williams' show and how they could not sing. She would always say, "Oh no, we can't sing the happy birthday song here," because she said they couldn't afford it.
The Happy Birthday song has never been trademarked by anybody.
But why
Unless you're
couldn't they
receiving the,
sing it?
I don't know, unless you're receiving the Stevie Wonder version. Like Happy Birthday it's who wrote it? Can you tell me that?
I
Exactly.
can't. You gonna
Exactly.
make there's a Wendy Williams archived. What is it?
Well,
It's
we all know that Wendy Williams just got on the mic and talked shit. She probably was just saying shit out the side of her mouth because that's what she does.
it was a
Do-
show. It was the
yeah,
TV
it
show,
was
the
a
one that
show.
was on Fox. Yeah,
Hmm.
but there's an archive. It's called Wendy Williams Archives, and it's on YouTube, and it's actually where they just show like old episodes. I think maybe some moments from Hot Topics. I hadn't gone over in a while, but I see it ever so often when I go on YouTube because I am a YouTube. I'm not gonna say the word junkie because that carries a very negative connotation. I wouldn't want
You
to.
can say junkie. You can have whatever.
No,
It's not necessarily negative because you're not on drugs. I know you're equating it to drugs, but it's not the same thing. You
I'm a
can say
fan.
junkie. That works too.
Super user. I like that better.
That
Super
works too.
user
That works
for
too.
YouTube. So yeah, 2026, 10 days in. How have your 10 days been?
They've been good. I have no complaints.
Good. No
Mhm.
complaints. What did you do?
Nothing outside of the normal. 10 days. I've been to work, working, school, the regular stuff. Nothing spectacular. Just everyday
Mm,
life. It's just like 2025, except for it's 2026.
leave that shit back there. I'm sorry. We can't go back. Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't watch the news, but it just appears. I think the word is it fear mongering, and I think I just hear T.S. Madison saying that a lot. So I don't want to get that wrong or get that messed up. But anyway, I don't watch the news, but it's like when I think about 2026, it's just been crazy as hell. And I say that it's been a let's say this, it's been a rough start, okay? And when I say a rough start, I think about what one country, Venezuela, and I know,
Yes, when they went over and kidnapped that man.
and I just yeah think about the impact. So I'm not one of the Americans that's living in fear. You choose not to my faith and belief practices or whatnot, but just simply, it's like damn, having
So,
living in a go ahead.
well, has that affected your day to day? Like, how's that affecting you
No, not
specifically?
necessarily, but I think it's different from when I used to live down south. In the capital city down south, it's like, well, ain't nobody gonna target that. But living near New York, living in a major city itself, it's kind of like, okay, is a target on us? What's going on? What does that look like for us?
I think
And
there's
I think more recent,
always. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you fine. And I think more recently, when I woke up this morning, I got on Instagram. They were like, "Oh, the doomsday plane is flying around." So it's just crazy. I don't know what's going on with this administrator or administration. However,
So,
here we are.
I believe the doomsday plane is always flying around because,
Hmm.
like I said, The U.S. is always a target for somebody. A lot of people hate the U.S., and that's always been the case. So I'm pretty sure, I may
Mm.
be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe the Doomsday plane is always flying around.
I didn't know. I'll gladly take your civics references. I think a lot of us kind of left it back there. Unless you teach political science, unless you work in government in some form, whether that's local, state, federal, hell, I'm even say international, whatever relations rather. Let's say that if you work in that capacity, you're more apt to remember and stay up on that. However, my view of government, of course, is going to be from that lens of education. Um, because that's my first love or whatnot. But I don't know. I just think it's really weird. And to your point, I like what you just said because excuse me, that wasn't cool. But think I think the word is fear mongering. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Fear
I
mongering
think
is, you don't have to look it up. Fear mongering is just like the people who are in charge of shit or the media. It creates fear in the citizens of this country or any other country. They'll tell you this when they want you to be scared of whatever they, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. It's just
mhm.
creating fear for the sake of creating fear. It may be something behind it, it may not be, you know.
So we are waking up, but it's good for you to let us know whether the listeners know or not. Rufus does have a background. Can I say military? Is it military? Is that what it is?
I
Is it
was in
like
the
a branch of the military?
I was in the military for a number of years.
Okay, so you will know about doomsday planes and things like that. So this is from definitions from Oxford Languages. And fear mongering is the action of deliberately arousing public fear or alarm about a particular issue.
Right.
And
That's what I
so I
said.
don't, that is
Not in those
very
words.
well. Well, I put your military background into this. And so given that, like, you know about doomsday planes, we see it and we get alarmed. And I'm thinking that's an old ass 747. Is it a 747?
I
With
think
like
it
a
is.
honker on it.
I think
Whatever
it
that
is. I think it is a 747. I know they're. All I know is they're based out of Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska.
that one there. And I think it landed at LAX.
Okay.
And so yeah, both of us are into planes. And so maybe it was on the plane side. No, it had to be the neighborhood show that we watch those because uh he's got what was the job? Is it Bandler? Yeah, when you plane?
I I didn't quite hear you.
Cargo? Wait, you not listening, Rufus?
I'm listening, but the audio is kind of choppy right now for some reason.
We'll work on that. Amici, what's up with the mics? It's all good. We love him. No, it could be my internet here in this city that I live in. I don't live in the sticks like you. Um, you know,
I don't know what that has to do with your internet, sweetheart. Your internet should be better than mine since I live in the quote unquote sticks.
well, there are more people here. This is a very
Well,
dense
I have
area.
AT&T fiber. What do you have?
You know what? It came with
Don't
the
worry,
place
I'll
because I,
wait. Exactly. You
I
need to upgrade you need to upgrade your internet connection, sweetheart.
I think the options for where I live, you could get what was already in place, which was so convenient. You just key in your phone number, and they like send you a bill. And so that was very convenient. However, I
Hmm.
think Verizon, I do use Verizon for cell service, but that was an option here. But nonetheless, just going back to I don't know, it had to be the neighborhood talk. And so all of a sudden I think when you think about algorithms now, that's all you start seeing on your timeline. It's this, and that. And I will say, speaking of timelines, I started my year off with is it Deion Sanders or is it Prime? I think all through December. Did I send you some of those videos? No.
No.
I
So
didn't.
wait, how do we get on algorithms?
Because I was saying once I clicked the video about the doomsday piece, it's like it just kept going and it kept going. And that's all I really saw was, these doomsday videos. They went from the neighborhood talk. And then I want to say, I know I mentioned earlier about is it LA plane spotting? Remember, I was talking about plane spotting. And I follow a guy I didn't quite get it out. What are the people that go under the plane? You got above the wing
The
and below the wing. It's not baggage handler, cargo
Yeah,
handler.
baggage handlers, fuelers, anybody that work on the ground doing service to an
Oh, what
aircraft is gonna
job
be
did I
called.
do?
You were a ramper. They're gonna be called below the wing.
Ramp agent.
Anybody
That's
that
what they
works
got.
anybody that works in customer service or ticketing, they're above the wing.
Okay. So yeah, follow one guy, but you know what? I think he it might be a Trumpster, a MAGA, and I may have unfollowed his ass, but maybe not. That's the guy that's in Arizona. I say that all to say it was a bunch of daggone doomsday stuff. This is the beginning of 2026, and it's like, okay, this is no fun. This is no
Mhm.
fun. This is no fun. We got to do different. So one thing in light of, or in light of. Why did I say in lighter? Isn't that weird? But anyway, what TV shows are you watching right now?
Well, I just finished the episode of Abbott Elementary. Great show. It's based about a elementary school in Philadelphia. It's funny, quirky. I also started watching Euphoria recently. I finished the whole first season in one night, and I watched an episode last night, but I fell asleep. But it's really good. It's a lot going on in the show. It's about this teenage girl who is a drug addict and her crazy ass life. I also watch Force, which is kind of it's not really good, but I'm kind of one of those people that even if it's not good, I'll finish it. Um, so those are my three shows right now. I would love to watch the Miss Pat show, but I don't have BT Plus. But that's neither here nor
Mm,
there.
I follow her on Instagram, Miss Pat, and she has showed she is hilarious. When I say
She is
she is
hilarious.
funny, what did she say? It was I think the app was overloaded, and that's why I got done with BT Plus because it was like I used to follow all the Tyler Perry shows. So
Hmm.
you got a lot going on as far as what you're watching. That's real commitment. But anyway,
Well,
speaking of
I'm
Miss
a
Pat,
I'm a I'm a big TV head, so TV is like my. Some people read books, some people listen to music. I like TV, so that's like my thing.
was the TV your babysitter when you were a kid?
Yes, I was very much a latchkey kid. Come home, watch whatever TV. If I didn't go outside, but if I was out in the house, I was watching TV.
I was gonna ask you, didn't play outside?
Yeah, I did, but I think once I got to a certain age, I kind of stopped. Like once I moved here where I'm at, it wasn't as prevalent as was like I grew up in another state. So when I moved here, it kind
Mm.
of slowed down a little bit because creating friendships at like 16 is not as easy as creating friendships at like 10 or 11 or whatever. So, but yeah, I
Mm.
did for a time.
Totally understand. That's cool. The first show you said you watched, I know you said not Renaissance. I think it was a show you and I talked about before. What did you,
Ye-
Abbott Elementary? Quinta
Yeah.
Barnes, that's a chick that was viral years ago. What did she say? He got money. She was like, oh, I'm gonna tell you, I remember one video. Listen, it was one video. She was like, oh, a large.
Oh my God.
And you never saw the dude's head. It's just always her
Well, that's because she's so
standing.
short.
Well, we never saw his head. Did he have an identity? And
I
I
think they were
don't.
playing. No, I think they were playing on the fact that she's hella short, and this guy she was dating is tall. So she was always, she was always looking up to him or whatever.
It wasn't about
Uh,
he got money because that was the
I
catch
mean, it
line,
was
right?
about that too, but I think they instilled the height joke in there too.
Oh my God. Okay, I would have never took that away. I just, maybe I'm just very different. And I remember why I think they were at a movie stand, and what did she do? He was like, "Oh, let me get a popcorn." She was like, "Oh, okay. Let me get some Snickers. Oh, let me get some Twix." And then when they got to the drink, they was like, "Okay, what you?" Let's say he said, Let me get a large Coke." And she was like, "A large? Oh, he got money." That was the funniest one of all of the
Hmm.
ones that she has done by far. That was the funniest one. And wow. Yeah, Euphoria. Now I remember you said you watching that. That's the one I asked you. I was like, "Oh yeah, they filmed in Atlanta." You were like, "Oh no, it films in LA." Right?
And who was right?
Well, per Google, Google has those AI
Oh,
answers,
now you want to blame it on
which
Google? You know I was right. You can admit it. I was right. They
it
filmed
was,
in
but
L.A.
while it might be tragic, I just remember seeing something, a story, and I thought they said, "Well, this was a site." They filmed something because in Euphoria, like a scary show or something like that.
No, not at all. You mean scary
It's
in
not.
as in horror? No,
It's not sci-fi.
no, not at all.
Now I want to see what
I just told you
show
what it was about. Does that sound like sci-fi to
filmed
you?
in Atlanta.
A lot of shows filmed in Atlanta, but Euphoria wasn't one of them.
Oh man, it was like a prime time show. Let's say that was sci-fi based. We're asking Google fi based. Let's see, because it was not. I'm gonna get to what Stranger Things. Boom.
Okay, yeah, definitely not the same show. Two different streaming services, two different concepts, two different plots, totally different
You are
shows.
You're definitely a TV buff because I ain't know nothing about either one of them.
Oh,
But
I've
I
never
just remember
seen Stranger Things, but I knew what it was about.
what they say. Okay, girl, watch this. Falls off set of Stranger Things. Because I felt like whatever the building, yep, building, a 19-year-old woman named, we won't say her name on here, tragically
Why?
died in December 2025 after
I,
falling from an abandoned five-story building at Emory University's Briarcliff campus. The site was known as the Hawkins Lab in Stranger Things. See, and so when you mentioned Euphoria, I automatically by default was like, oh yeah, there's got to be all things Atlanta because everything's coming out of Atlanta now, right?
well, there's a lot of stuff coming out of Atlanta, but I would definitely not say all things coming out of Atlanta.
Well, let me get my favorite shows because I know what films
Yeah,
that
let's list
be
your favorite shows. Come on with it.
right now. And Tanya watches this. Our listeners. Why am I saying watch? We just doing video. We're just doing audio. Anyway, Beyond the Gates. It films out of Atlanta.
Okay.
Um, I would say that's number one. Of course, for me, I do the Bravo shows, but I'm kind of tired of those. And I was the kid, I was outside, inside, outside, inside. But yeah, it's this is, and I think Beyond the Gates is the first. Would you consider it a black soap opera? Have you heard about Beyond the Gates? Well, I know you've heard of it from me, but
I've heard of it before you, but I've never watched it. Well, I watched it once. It's not for me, but yeah, I would consider it a black soap opera. It's all black cast, I believe. It's on daytime TV on CBS. So yeah, I would consider it the first black like daytime soap opera because I don't think there's ever been one before this one.
yeah, I think it competes with, is it Bold and Beautiful? All my
Yeah,
children are like
whatever
as
soap
far as
operas come
beauty
on in the daytime.
around that would be when I think about my uh, Death Judge show. I remember Judge Hatch. I remember the Animal Court. Judge Judy for sure. Judge Joe. Talk about him because he is crazy as hell. Judge Matt was him. That's my fraternity brother. Uh, but I don't watch shows anymore. But it's if
Well,
I come home to watch
what are you watching now other than Beyond the Gates?
Beyond the Gates, like I believe the episode here. Watch that. And the real the Potomac. So definitely between watch TV. Um, those are it. And I'm going to get back into Traders. Oh, Monk is actually on my screen.
Traders actually just came back like yesterday or a day before.
The they call it the. But anyway, I into that because favorite part, the greatest TV come out of Bravo Universe.
Hmm.
Tisha, I would call. She's not a political. She does a hotel job. Nonetheless, you know, brought me to an Emmy because of this. But I was listening to Carl Dustin. What's the boy's name? Dustin Ross.
Hmm.
Anyway, on Behind the Paywall, so on Carlos King's
Yeah,
Patreon.
they have a
And
YouTube
it was
show. What's it called? It's about this. It's about the reality TV stuff.
you talking about Monday Night
Reality with the King or something
House.
like that.
Yeah, but they did the traders. And one Dustin said Candace is just as good, if not better, in regard to performance because he said the way that this is a pro. You don't know who Candace is, but Candace call her character from the Real Housewives. You've never watched it.
I've never
Remember
watched what?
the never. I think you have.
I I'm not sure.
Okay, it's okay, but nonetheless, I remember her. She is a that has a very sharp tongue, very witty. She's a time graduate from is CU and probably uh, but nonetheless, so she's intelligent. I think she did finish her BA that was in yeah. you know, here she is, here we are.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, she's on there. So that's I'm gonna pick that back up. That's the series that I'm gonna pick up. I want to see her play the game. I want to see how far she goes in the game. And of course, one thing I would say, social media ruins everything. So since they
I
released the
agree.
first they released the first 3 episodes, and I forgot Portia's on there. Child, Portia's already off the show. I,
I mean,
I,
the girl just, she just her, we love her though.
Portia, I said Portia didn't want to do this show. I think her agent, somebody taught Portia, well, she needed money because she was going through that divorce with Simon. And I think
Mhm.
the house, between the mortgage and whatever expenses that are associated with her living, is $40,000 a month. But nonetheless, I think she needed a check. She saw an opportunity. And I think when her ass got over there to Scotland, she was like, oh, fuck this bitch, I'm out. And so I
Mhm.
think much of it, some people will say, well, no, she really is. I don't think Portia is slow. I don't think Portia lacks
I think she
intellect.
does a good job at pretending like she's
There you go. There you
uh
go.
not as smart as she is.
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's and that for that, I agree. I totally agree with just that statement. I don't
And
think
and I feel
go
like
ahead.
she's always been a pretty girl. So, pretty girls typically they can bat their eyes and do that little smile and rub up against you and they don't have to do much. I feel like that's Portia's lane.
I can see that. My mama used to call them dumb pretty girls.
Yeah, same
Dumb,
thing really. Even though I don't think
dumb
she's
pretty
dumb
girls.
necessarily.
She can't be to be maintaining that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, she can be, but I just don't think she is as dumb as we think she is, or some
Have you
people
seen
think
a
she
dumb
is.
millionaire?
Yeah, it's one in the fucking White House right now. He's a billionaire.
That's with exception. I think he's criminal.
He's
That's the
still he's
difference.
he's still a dummy.
I mean, so what, okay, I agree. Now, see, I done got all kind of charade, tongue tied, and twisted. Shit, child. Okay,
Spring, summer,
while
fall,
that
September.
that she was on the Traders too, and she lasted a
She
good
was on
while.
Traders. There's
She
another show
lasted a
similar
good
to the
while.
Traders that comes on Netflix called Secret Millionaire. That it's pretty good. I might check out Traders. I tried to watch it when the first season was on, but I couldn't get into it. So I might give it another shot. I'm not sure yet.
Just pick it up when Phaedra gets on. I believe
She
that's
was already
season
on
two.
it.
That's what I'm saying. So don't go back
But
to season one. Just go ahead and watch.
I don't fuck with Phaedra, so I might not do that.
Phaedra, if you're listening, you're wonderful. Disregard this
No, you're
man.
not. You're a lying ass whore, and fuck you.
Oh, so harsh.
My
Wow.
co-host loves you, but I don't. So,
Yeah, you know what? I used to put pictures of Phaedra on my desk.
who child
My-
I remember, and I hated it, and I hated it.
Between Phaedra and if we think about it, it was always her and Iyanla. Yeah, you know what? I started paying Iyanla for my team meetings. Did
Oh
we listen to
God.
her the first day? I read an Iyanla quote. I actually put it on the agenda for my meet. And the most recent meeting was actually yesterday. And we watched a 2-minute clip. And what was Iyanla? She came on the everything, everything, everything. And what she was pretty much saying, people move throughout life because there's a benefit to it, whatever said action is. So just as Phaedra has these jobs, there's a benefit to it. And guess what? It all landed her back on Bravo on her
Yeah,
show.
a benefit
The
to her.
Yeah, that's what Iyanla was saying. There's a benefit to everything. And that's how people move. People are motivated by what? Said benefits,
That's
the
true.
benefit. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, that might be how I approach 2026. What's the benefit for me?
I don't have a problem with that. I think you should do. You should move like that.
Well,
Because if
we're
there's
gonna
no
see.
benefit, if there's no benefit in you doing it, why do it?
Well, I think people go through life aimlessly. So just like we watch TV, we watch it with purpose. I watch Monk with purpose. Oh,
What's
I can't think.
what's
What was
what's
the other
what's the
show?
purpose?
It's like let me free my mind. I don't want to think about work. I don't want to think about I write leisure. I am published, right? I don't want to think I want to disengage with what I know my reality to be. So let me get lost in a TV show like
Hmm.
Monk and watch him just fidget da 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 da, opposed to anything else. So Yeah, just staying in there. That's the benefit. You know, what's
Hmm.
beneficial for me in 2020. So we 10 days in. And like I said, American, they said 100 people died just even going back to that point. 10 days in, 2026, 100 Venezuelans were killed as a part of that. And I do remember that morning I watched, it may have been MSNBC via YouTube again, big on YouTube. And what they said was, no American was harmed in that. But now, even in that conversation, it may have been with a colonel. I don't know if he's an active one, but I know he carried that title. He was saying how is it Iran and Russia are favorable of Venezuela and that particular person or leader, whomever, whether they say he stole the election or something like that. But nonetheless, all things considered, now they're saying China and Russia were not pleased with America's actions.
Well, China and Russia are never going to be pleased with America's actions. They're not allies, so I don't think they're ever going to be pleased with anything. But I don't think that doing that whole deal was the right thing to do. But like I said, I don't think China and Russia will ever be pleased with the USA because we're virtually, essentially enemies. Like
Mm,
that, they're never going to be happy.
that person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said something about the oil. Didn't he say, the oil is now in our
Yeah,
possession
the
or
orange man said we will be running the country. We're going to distribute the oil. It's going to benefit the people of Venezuela as well as uh the U.S., which I think is crazy because
that's kind of weird.
you just ran up in their house and took their shit,
More recently,
basically.
yeah, and put him in a Nike tracksuit.
Maybe he already had that on.
They say that thing is selling out. That's why I say social media. We didn't know this kind of stuff.
I
You
would have
know,
never known that till you just said it. Like that for
yes,
me, that wasn't that like for me, I would have like I said, I would have never noticed that.
yes,
Like ever.
yes,
But
yes, yes, yes.
maybe he already had that on. We don't know.
Y-
Because why would they
Yeah,
let
I
him
just
if you're gonna go take somebody out of the house, why would you let them change clothes?
I was just about to say, I can't imagine dropping bombs, sending people in, rushing them, and it's like, maybe he was anticipating it. Maybe he did have that Nike tracksuit on. Maybe he wants an endorsement. What is life going to be for him? And
An endorsement? That's
from
crazy.
Nike, is Nike a U.S. based company?
Yes, they're based out of Portland, Oregon.
Oh
But
wow! See,
most
you
of their
you
factories and shit are in China, per like everybody else's shit,
do I
because
have something on?
they don't spend any money in they
In the
spend.
United States. Wow,
Well,
I
no,
think
what
that
I mean is they spend less money getting their stuff made overseas than they do here.
you know what? You're right. And think about, was it January when the Chinese got mad when he got in office last January? Speaking of China, and they released the secrets about these $30,000 handbags. And I don't know anybody that would. Do I know somebody that owns a 30,000? No,
I'm sure you do.
my friends around that $5,000 mark as far as what they buy.
Stop telling them
Not
folks
the
business.
You can see it. If you go on social media, you can see the $5,000 handbags, but not 30,000. That's anyway, I see it on TV. And we won't bring that episode up. Dr. Heavenly, I love you. We follow each other on Instagram. She is a character or cast member, not character. She's a cast member on Married to Medicine. How did I forget Bravo's best show? You asked me what I was watching on TV. It's definitely Married to Medicine is back, but Heavily is in a supporting role. She's in a friend role because she is running for District 13 Congress for the state of Georgia. And so while she's almost on every episode and every story is centered around her, but nonetheless, I brought that up to just say when we're talking about China, one of the major beefs on the show is that Heavenly had a fake handbag. And she was like, but my money is in this, 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 and this. It ain't in handbags. And one of the other characters on the show, Toya, who is married to Medicine, she says, you know, hey, this is fake, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, we got a lot going on. It's 2026. I'm glad we could, come out and just say how our first 10 days was. Um,
Hmm.
I'm sure I'll see you before the next 10 days, but here we are.
Here we are.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Signing off for
Bye.